Welcome to Nerdbull1669 Weekly Trading Outlook tips for this week, 9th of March to 13th of March 2026. Before we move to this week, right, the first week of March, which was from 2nd to 6th of March 2026, was actually marked by extreme volatility as the weekend shot of the U.S. Israel strikes on Iran amid a crushing blow from domestic economic data. While the week started with a geopolitical shrug, it ended in a flight to safety. So for the market summary for the week of March 2nd to 6th of March 2026, the market's initial resilience proved fleeting. Early in the week, investors focused on war winners, driving energy. The WTI crude actually went up by 15% weekly on the weekly, and then the defense stocks like Lockheed Martin and then Northrop Grumman also sharply higher. However, the narrative shifted on Friday when the February jobs report revealed an unexpected loss of 92,000 payrolls, and an unemployment rate spiked to 4.4%. So for the S&P 500, it actually closes the week down approximately 2.2%, ending near the 6,797 level, and then the index spent most of the week defending the critical 6,800 psychological floor. So for the Nasdaq 100, it actually underperformed as high valuation tech felt the dual pressure of rising energy-driven inflation fears and weakening growth. So it closed near the 24,720, notably slipping below its 200-day moving average. So for the safe havens, investors still continue to go into the gold and Bitcoin surge early in the week as a digital physical gold play. Though the Bitcoin gains were moderated by Friday as a liquidity-driven risk-off mood took off. So Bitcoin was actually not doing that well over the weekend. So do watch the video for the outlook for this week, 9 to 13 of March 2026, for the following: S&P 500 weekly outlook, Nasdaq weekly outlook, and then the individual stock analysis and buyers level for Oracle, ORCL, and then which is having earning this week, and also for individual stock analysis and buyers levels for Adobe, ADBE, as well as the individually stock analysis and buyers level for Nvidia, NVDA, as well as the individually stock analysis and buyers level for Microsoft, NSFT. So appreciate if you could share your thoughts in the comments section on this video, and do help to like and share this video. We greatly appreciate your help. For the disclaimer, do note that the analysis and the result presented does not recommend or suggest any investing in the same stock. This is purely for the analysis and basically on technical analysis purposes. Appreciate if you can like and share this video if you find this video useful and helpful for you. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to you supporting the channel for more content. Now coming to the macros snapshot. Okay, we are looking, okay, as the U.S. Iran conflict enters the second week. So the macro environment actually has shifted from a geopolitical event, right, to a regime change in the market volatility. So heading into the week of 9 to 13 of March, the primary focus, right, is no longer just the initial strikes, but the secondary effects, right, on inflation via oil, and then the growth via the surprise February jobs contraction that we saw on last Friday, 6th of March. So for the macro snapshot for this week, 9 to 13 of March 2026, right, on the risk appetite, right, we're actually looking at the current status of extreme risk off. Yeah. So outlook for this week, sentiment has actually soured following the net loss of 92,000 jobs reported on the March 6th, last Friday. Investors are actually fleeing the growth and the AI beta in favor of cash and defensive energy. So on the rates direction metrics, right? So current status is higher for longer. It's actually inflation driven. So despite the weak jobs data, the 10-year Treasury yield actually rose to 4.15% on Friday, as the oil spiked to $91 per barrel. As of time of this recording, uh, oil has been trading above 100 now. So the market is actually bracing for a hot CPI print on Wednesday, which is the 11th of March. So on the volatility regime, this current status will be elevated high VIX. So the VIX actually jumped 48% last week to 29.5. So do expect a volatility floor near the 25% as the Strait of Hormuz remain a primary supply chain risk. Now coming to the weekly outlook for S&P 500. So the S&P 500, we're looking at a battle for 6,800 level. So the S&P 500 closing near the 6,739 has already broken the psychological support level at 6,800. So for the trend continuation, okay, in order to reclaim the bullish narrative, right, the index must close above a daily session back above the 6,830. Okay, for on the pullback risk level, we think that if the S&P 500 fail to hold the Friday lows, the next major structural support actually sits at 6,711 with a trap door that will leading to the 6,500 area based on the 200 days moving average, as you can see in the chart above. So now coming to the weekly outlook for Nasdaq IX. I see. So Nasdaq is under the tag is under Sage. So the tag is actually feeling the brunt of the rate versus war trade. So for the level that we're looking at, strength above the 15,300 level, this index will need to hold or to reclaim the level in order to neutralize the recent sell-off. So as for the failure below level, right, we are looking at 15,100. So a break here would suggest that there is a deeper correction towards the 14,800 zone, as earning from Adobe and Oracle come into focus. So now coming to the individual stock for this week. Okay, so the first stock would be Oracle. ORCL. Earnings alert. Oracle reports on the March 10. It needs to prove the AI backlog is actually converting to revenue despite dropping the Texas data center expansion, as well as the 50 billion fundraise that will be in focus because this might lead to a stock dilution. So on the bullish buyers level, we're looking at above $165, and for the invalidation, right, if it's below $150, then we might see a really a weak level movement. So now coming to the second stock of this week is Adobe, ADBE. So it's also having an earning on the 12th of March, a report 12th of March. So the sentiment is actually fragile. Failure to hold the 485 dollars level, right, would suggest that the AI disruption fear are outweighing its growth. So for the bullish buyers level, we're actually looking at above $515. For the invalidation, as I mentioned above, below $485 would be something that if it really fail, we may see some sell off. So now coming to the third stock, which for this week will be Nvidia, NVDA. The actually having a GTC next week on the 16th to the 18th of March. So this stock remained the liquidity proxy. It held up better than the peer for last week, but it faces war-induced growth shock risk. So for the bullish buyers, right, we are actually looking at above $142, and then for the invalidation, right, we're actually looking at below $128. So now coming to the last stock of this week, Microsoft MSFT. Currently, it's actually trading at a bargain PE of 22.7. So a break below the $400, which is a psychological and structural level, will invalidates the value tag thesis. So for the bullish buyers, right, we're actually looking at above $425. And for the invalidation level, we're actually looking at below $402. For the this week catalyst, right? The market is no longer just watching the war. It's actually watching, the oil. 100 plus risk, which basically has it's happened at time of this recording. Oil is now trading above 100, and also the earnings. So if Oracle earning, which happened on Tuesday, and Adobe earning, which happened on Thursday, provide weak guidance, right, due to the geopolitical uncertainty. So expect Nasdaq failure level, right, to really accelerate. So now coming to the specific stock level, which is a earning week. So the AI narrative is being stress test again, so-called this week, right? As high capex spending, meet a high interest rate environment. So okay, for this week we are looking at Oracle. The earning is happening on the 10th of March. So holding the $150 level is critical. So a miss on the cloud margins, right, due to the AI data center that could trigger a move, right, to $135. Then for Adobe, who is having earning on the 12th of March, Thursday. So sentiment is actually fragile. So if it actually loses $485 level, right, the stock would enter into a no man's land, and then with technical support much lower. So for another tech stock, Nvidia. So the market fear gauge, right? If Nvidia really break the $128, right, expect the broader Nasdaq to accelerate its decline. So for Microsoft and SFT, so currently this is acting as a defensive tech play. So reclaiming $425 will signal a return to the relative strength for Microsoft. So the watch list actually for Wednesday will be an important one. So the February CPI report, which happening on the 11th of March, right, Wednesday, is the pivot point. So if inflation remains sticky due to the oil spike, right, the rate direction will remain upwards, putting further pressure on the bullish buyers, right, level for both Nvidia and Microsoft. So a bit of the risk management framework. So these are the three things that we should always keep in mind. So trade levels are not the opinion, and we should define the invalidation before we entry, and then also reduce size during the consolidation. To practice discipline and patience with. So this video is actually for educational content only, and it's not financial advice. So the disclaimer, so the analysis and the result actually presented does not recommend or suggest any investings in the state stock. So this is purely for analysis purposes.